Kumusta? Kumusta and congratulations, you've made it. You have just tuned in to the dopest podcast in the universe. Behind This Beat is a show where we take flight and connect with Filipino creatives locally and abroad, representing the land of a thousand islands, the Philippines. Let's get the show started and give it up for our hosts, Phat Boy, Lim and Boy Graduate. This is Behind This Beat.
Yo, yo, yo!
Kumusta?
Kumusta? Mabuti naman ako. Salamat.
Wow, you're so good at Tagalog, ah. Galing mo na.
Getting better. Getting
Mas
better.
magaling ka pa sa akin. But yeah, kumusta everyone? Thank God it's Friday. I always love to say that because it's the time of the day where we do Behind This Beat. Okay, so yeah, my name is Phat Boy Lim. I'm your host.
This is your co-host, Boy Graduate.
Yeah, there you go. And we are here to take you to have to join us for an hour. Well, depends if we sometimes we go overboard, but we try we try our best to always keep it tighter. But yeah, we just love to talk. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you are tuned in right now, listening to Behind This Beat, and we do this every Friday, 3 in the afternoon, depending on the artist availability. But yeah, it's like live on Facebook right now. You can check it out on facebook.com/beatthisph, facebook.com/phatboylim, and on our YouTube account that you can just we still don't have a username there yet because we still don't have that much subscribers, but we hope you can actually help us. Tulungan nyo kami, 'di ba? Do you know what that means, Boy Graduate?
I just say tama. That's all I say when I don't understand. Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, yeah, we're here to. This is going to be our 10th episode, man. Imagine that. We actually survived because I was thinking, yeah, probably we'll just do this for a couple of episodes and then we might get lazy and all. But yeah.
No, we're committed.
We're committed.
There's too much good Filipino music out there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. And I think there's more reasons for us to get committed because of some huge announcement that we have. But maybe let's just do that later. For now, we just wanted to give you guys an idea about what the show is all about. So it is the main focus of this show is really to promote, it started out, Beat This Philippines started out 3 years ago as just like promoting what we have in the South, in Visayas and Mindanao, for like music producers and all these artists in the more, I guess, digital production, arena, right? So, but then what happened is, we just started growing. Next thing you know, we got some national presence. And then next thing you know, now, a couple of, years passed by, we're now talking to like Filipinos globally who are like musically creative, right? So for the past couple of episodes, if you want to check it out, we are all on podcast platforms. You can actually watch it through Facebook as like a long, unedited form, but you can also listen to it on podcast versions through every podcast platform out there, like Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Spreaker, Stitcher. We're on Mixcloud even, and Anchor. So anywhere you want to find your podcast, we're there, I think. So yeah, I just want to welcome everyone again. If you will love this show because you'll know more about like artists that are not only just, flexing or representing the Philippines in our area, but also outside this country. That's why Boy Graduate is also here because Boy Graduate is from Australia and he's also an artist, and we want to promote that too.
Yeah, of course. Every episode.
Every episode, you gotta listen to Boy Graduate. It's becoming a running joke, man. But you gotta listen to him. He's a really great artist. It's not just a joke. You're probably thinking we're joking here, but like you should listen to his music. It's really. It's at par with what's happening globally. Nah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Salamat, bye. Salamat. Okay, so let's do this. We got a guest right now. Now, this I wanna usually when I do my description of an artist, usually I have a sort of like a copy. But now I'm thinking just like wanna introduce it based on what I have known about her, right? So since 2014, I've listened to her music, and because I was in radio back then in Magic, and I was a host for a show called Local Vocal where we promoted like all local music, and I stumbled upon her music because one of the an independent label here in Cebu, Tutu Tango, got. I don't know how I got the information, but I think I saw a compilation and then I saw her there. So that was really where it started for me and her, and I communicated with her on online, and then that's how I got to know more about this artist. And ever since 2014, was it 14 or 15? Not even sure if it's 2014. Yeah, there you go. So ever since then, I was just like following, and the next thing you know, recently she just released this amazing album, and for me, like I was gonna like I told you on our chat that when you listen to the album, it's like it sounds so big, and it's like
Mm.
every like the moment that the second song comes in, it's like I'm floating when I listen to it. It's like it sounds huge, but then
Yeah,
at the same time it feels relaxed, So
that's what you said. You
um
sounded like you were flirting.
yeah, I remember I was like check this out, man. Like
Yeah.
this song is actually like it's like lifting me up from the ground, like something like that. But yeah, so without further ado, she is from New Zealand, and she's also Cebuana and Filipina. So let's talk more to this artist. Her name's Valere, and we've been a big follower of her, and she is also part of the Chosen Dozen on our weekly playlist on Spotify, which you guys have to check out. But now let's talk to Valere. Welcome to the show Behind This Beat. Here is Valere. Hi.
Hello. Hi, how's it going?
Hey.
Did
Hey.
I introduce you in a way that you liked it, or
Yeah, that was really sweet. That's so nice to hear because we're out here. New Zealand is a very small country. You would know, boy graduate. We're
Yeah.
like your little
Yeah.
brother, apparently.
Yeah.
And so far away from everything, so it's really hard to know what people think about the music. So it's very, very humbling to hear that you've been following
wait?
from that.
So
Yeah,
I'm not I'm not good with geography, but is Australia and New Zealand near?
we're like we're like
Pretty
cousins.
close. Yeah.
Yeah,
A 3 hour
So it's like
flight from Melbourne.
yeah.
it's not like a drive. It's not like a drive away.
Nah, we're
Mm.
two different countries. We do
But you
not
but you can
wanna
you can do can you do a road trip going there?
no.
No.
We're
No, okay, okay.
separated, but
But
yeah,
near, but
very
near.
near. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it's three
Pretty
hours
much.
flight. So pretty much you guys visit. It's a common thing to visit, say, from Australia going to New
Yeah.
Zealand and going to Australia. Okay, okay. All
Yeah.
right, all right. So let's first talk about like maybe just share like Valer how you started in the music space, because it's been like what, like since I we know you about 2014, before
Mm,
we actually talk about the new album. But like how like well, when was the, let's just say where did you start in music and how it became serious for you?
sure. So I always loved music when I was a kid. I like probably all of you guys like grew up on like the 90s pop music kind of thing. I was like I wanted to be Britney Spears. That was my thing. Um
Yes.
Yeah, I was always Britney loyal. Like, I love Christina Aguilera, but I was always like Team Britney. Anyway, then we moved to New Zealand when I was like 7, and yeah, I think I always loved music, and I just kind of joined choirs and stuff. And I think I was about 16 when I had a really great music teacher, and she encouraged me to write songs. And so I wrote some songs. I entered songwriting competitions here and there, and did pretty well. Um, and so I just kind of kept going in that direction. I was an acoustic singer. I still kind of am, but I really I went to University of Auckland. I'm studying music, and it was there that I kind of fell in love with electronic music and started to dabble into that. And so that was around like 2013 when I started Valere. Um, yeah, and so it kind of grew from there, and that was So you've been there early on, which is awesome because I didn't even think like anyone would be there around that time. But
Alex is
yeah,
always there at the start of people's career. It's actually
man,
quite crazy.
far out. That's
He's the
awesome.
goat of it.
Yeah, hard out. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I think I'm just like I think I'm just like a magnet to something that's like new, or something that excites me that I haven't heard before. So I
Yeah,
guess that's the story of my life. I've been doing music for almost, yeah, past 20 years already. Like, but yeah, I mean, going back to you, it's like I think we didn't really talk about that. You are from you were born in Cebu. Are you from Cebu?
yeah. So I was born in Cebu. My mom is from Jatagon and my dad's from Bicol, but they met in Cebu. And yes, I was born there, lived for 7 years there, and then moved to Auckland. But yeah, I just recently moved to Hamilton last year.
All right. So yeah. So what was the story there? Because like I remember, I specifically remember that I got to know your music. My first experience or listening to you was around that time, and I think it was I'm not sure if there was a compilation that was made under like a label here, which is Tutu Tango,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yeah. Well,
So how did that happen?
I got connected to Katski. So we would take trips to Philippines every 3 years or so, and yeah, I think it was around 2014. I went there, but a friend of my mom's maybe or someone, an uncle of mine or tito, I don't know. Like he was like, "Hey, I know this lady in Cebu who's like a music producer and label kind of. I know she runs a label. Would you like to get in contact?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess." Like I didn't have anything to do. I was, so I took my cousin with me. We went to SM. Oh no, it might have been Ayala or somewhere. And I met this lady. And we talked and she's like, "Hey, like," so I had my EPs there because I was giving like copies to my cousins as you do, it's their first project and you're like, I guess people can listen to
Excited.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
hard out. And so I was like, "Hey, I've got a copy of my EP. If you want to listen to it." And then, yeah, she listened to it. She reached out. She said, "Hey, we're doing a I think it might have been like a cup of folk or something like that. It was like a yeah, it was some sort of gig
Yeah,
at
yeah,
like
yeah. It's like a sort of like one of those coffee shop events, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was really fun because so she invited me to sing a few songs at there, and it was crazy because it was like, man, I it was the first time I'd ever played outside of New Zealand, and it was like my hometown, and so it was really great. So after that, I kind of got a relationship with Tulu Tango, so they um, did the distribution and publishing of Weary Eyes, and then the next EP as well. Mm.
Yeah. So speaking of that, like the what do you still remember what song that was on the compilation?
I think it might have been Maria. I think it might have been. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
yeah,
yeah, I think that's really the song, the first song I heard, and then I remember I even messaged you when I was on radio that time and asked for a copy to play it. Right. So this was like, man, this was like a couple of years ago,
yeah.
and just like I want to let the listeners listen to this song, but before that, maybe you could tell me a story about this particular track. Now I know it's part of the Weary Eyes EP, right? So, which is a 5-track EP. You can actually listen to this on all the streaming platforms. But yeah, tell us about that.
So it was a song that I wrote at uni, and it was about we had to write a personification song. So I had the chorus idea, and then I realized, oh, I could write about money. So it sounds like I'm singing about somebody, but it's about money. Yeah.
Ah, double
Mm,
entendre meaning. Yeah.
yeah. That's
That's
right.
cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks.
let's check this out. This is Maria, released in 2014 from the EP called Weary Eyes, right here on Behind This Beat, and we're gonna talk more to Valere.
I've been spending It's love you've gotta pay, Maria. For a precious kiss, I'd sell my soul. Has anybody seen it? Take me to her eyes of green and gold.
All right, that was Maria, a track that is part of the Weary Eyes EP, and of course, sang by Valere and produced, I think, like everything, right? So, yeah, tell us about, is that like all the production, everything's yours? Or is it like with
Um,
a,
it was with a band. So I worked with a few people on that. Keegan Mayering, who was the producer. I co-produced, and yeah, I had a band at the time. So while I was trying to figure out the whole electronic thing, it was a lot
yeah,
of real instruments still.
yeah,
It was like
like,
Yeah.
transition.
yeah, it's so different from the, because we're going to be listening to the stuff that you have now. Looks to me
Yeah.
like it's a bit yeah, it's still band oriented that time, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, because I was coming from like an acoustic background, and then during uni times, like a lot of people started getting like bands together, and so that was a reflection of what I was doing at the time. But yeah, yeah,
So that was recorded in New Zealand, right?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
How old were you when you recorded that song?
Uh, then probably like 20,
Yeah,
21.
not bad. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was just picturing you being a lot younger, like 14, 15, just belting out this song about money. It's just like, damn, this girl had like a good grip of the world at
Nah,
such a young age.
I did
But
not.
no,
I still don't. Like,
Marie.
no
I love
way. Thank you.
Yeah. And actually, when I listened to that, I remember I was in my radio show, Local Vocal, and I was like, wow, like this is actually like the band scene was booming that time. And like I was like, wow, it kind of sounds like different because I was always finding for someone like from Cebu to really highlight the South, And then when
Yeah.
I heard that, I was like, yeah, definitely gonna be part of my playlist, right?
Oh,
And moving forward, it's just like I'm just growing and starting to like listening to you now, it's like I've seen how the transition, and it's like it's amazing that even with what we're doing at Beat This, it's like now I'm still talking to you about these
yes.
stuff, right, because like when I did the Beat This thing 3 years ago, a lot of like different sounds were coming in, and I wasn't talking to the same artist anymore because I was came from the band rock scene, right? So
Right.
so now it's quite amazing to be still here and just like listening to your stuff. So yeah, what do you think is the main reason, like why you transition? Like what was the turning point for you? Like is it like some could say, some would tell us some would tell me that it's usually because sometimes having in a band there's just too many people there, like they can't really work with, like what was your story behind that?
I think for me, it's funny because I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to perform live, because I do love, like, what I love about being in a band is that you can kind of like bounce off of other people, and because I love to surround myself with a lot of people, and but I also, I think earlier on, even with the Weary Eyes EP, I really wanted something a little bit like lower key. How you guys were saying like the new album kind of sounds like quite relaxed, and I think I'm quite a relaxed person anyway, and I was listening to a lot of like um more down tempo, like more kind of chill music, even around that time. But I didn't know how to make that kind of music. Because I grew up on, I don't know, rock bands and all that stuff. It was a very new thing, and so it wasn't necessarily like a personnel thing. Like it wasn't like I don't want to have heaps of people around me. It was more about like refining the vision that I had earlier on, which I reckon is, yeah, a lot. It's more what it is now. But I had this vision back in the day. I just didn't know how to do it. if that
Yeah,
makes
didn't know
sense.
how to get there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fully.
yeah.
Was there a lot of growing up? Was there are there any like Filipino music that you've heard, kind of a bit like your go to when it comes to the Philippines
Yeah,
music?
I think uh BP Valenzuela, she like really, really inspired me. Because of just like, I mean, for her to be able to produce everything, and like that was kind of the vision I had a little bit too. And um good friends of mine, Sepia Times, they're really awesome as well.
Oh, Sepia Times. I love Sepia
Yeah.
Times. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Luigi is such a great songwriter, and like, yeah, it's just a really cool person. I mean, and I see as well. And who else was there? I really liked so around that time I was listening to like BP Valenzuela, I was listening to Crown and like
Yeah, yeah.
Jess Connolly,
Just-
really
yeah.
awesome.
Hey,
Yeah,
shout out
so
just Connolly.
It
yeah,
comes.
she's rad.
This, most likely talking about the, I guess, the newer ones, right? Like, or the
Mm,
was there like any like further down the road, like when you were growing up, when
I
you were in
was
the Philippines? Because I'm
in
sure
Philippines.
you were here since from you were born, and then from 7 years old to
Yeah,
7 years old. So I'm sure you've like probably listened to a lot of Pinoy
yeah,
music, right?
a little bit. Yeah, I think, I mean, I was definitely like a ballad girl. Like I
Mm.
love ballads. So all the OGs like Regine Velasquez and all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I kind of grew up on that.
And I can actually like, I know, like there's just one thing about I noticed in like your your how you do it. It's like there's like when I was listening to this new album of yours, it's like there's an experimentation going on, but there's always that sort of tinge of like the melodies are just going to like tickle you at behind or something like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like listening to that, and next thing you know, like you're thinking that it's just gonna be like, okay, this is gonna the song how the song's gonna go,
Yeah.
but then there's another like there's this different melodies that comes in, and I was like, oh my god, like that you're as a person who's I like again. I probably don't know what I'm talking about because I'm just an A&R, Just-
I mean, I'm sure you do if you're an
yeah,
A&R.
but no, I'm just kidding. That's a running joke in our thing. Like, but the point is, I can always I kind of hear this like pop element, but it's done beautifully in a way where it doesn't sound so obviously pop.
Thank
You know what
you.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a melody person, so I love, like, that's my
Yeah.
bread and butter when it comes to writing songs. And yeah, because and at uni they would call me like, or my friend would call me like the queen of cheese. Like that's definitely like it's in my blood. You know what I mean? Like cheesy
Yeah.
ass melodies and lyrics, but then you gotta like lay off the cheese a little bit. So that's how I mix it up with the music.
Yeah, nice. I like that metaphor. That's cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
very
love
Speaking
when
of
much.
you lay
cheese,
down too much cheese. Cheese is nice as
Too much
well. So
cheese.
too
Yeah, me
much
too.
cheese.
yeah, you need to work on your cheese, boy graduate.
I need to
Hey,
work on my
bro.
cheese a lot. I haven't been in front of a microphone
Okay.
except this very.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Like that's what I've been experiencing. Okay, so yeah, moving on. Like so the next EP you released was around 2016 already, and it took a couple 2 years to get there. So what was the transition? Why it took a bit longer for you to. Well, yeah, because 2 years is still in the online internet age, 2 years is a bit long. You know.
Yeah, I just, again, it was the same thing of like I had this image or vision, and it took me a while to get there. So it just, and life happened too. So it was just like I was kind of, I think, coming out of uni and going into like the real world or whatever. And yeah, so that was why it took
Searching for
longer.
Maria.
Had not. Yeah, didn't find her. Still haven't found her.
Still haven't found it. Me
Still
neither.
broke ass, but it's all good.
Uh, nice one. So yeah, it's so with this one, what was the sort of like the main difference of the EP? Like what did you think that what you can explain to the listeners how from Weary Eyes to Blue, what do you think was the big change or the transition of it?
This was done all by myself. Like, so all of the instruments, like I wanted to, well, not all by myself, but production wise, I kind of wanted to see what I could do by myself. Because I
Mhm.
worked heavily with other people in the last one. I did work with Keegan in terms of mixing and a few other people like writing and I guess guitars and stuff like that. But most of it was me, and it was a really good exercise in seeing like where my capabilities were. Yeah.
Yeah, and did you have formal training, or was it all just online? How did that go for
In
you?
terms of production
In terms of
or
production.
nah, I was just playing around, I guess. Just jamming.
Wow. Okay,
I guess
so
that's what everybody's like, I think,
yeah,
nowadays, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
I get that a lot now from most of the sort of the artists that I stumble upon, like the newer ones. I think most of them like probably know everything already.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think you got the this generation, the newer ones are like the sort of like super breed of like they can do
Yo,
everything.
the newer generation, like the ones below us, Valere, like they're nuts because they've had computers since they were younger. Like yeah.
Yeah,
We're the
I
oldies now, man. Ah,
yeah, I even remember like there's this guy who was just doing it on everything on a cell phone. I was like, what? But it sounds like it was done beautiful, like really professionally. I was like, no
Yeah.
way, like I don't know. It's a crazy world right now. Especially
yeah.
everyone's on at the house, nothing to do, and like everyone's
Yeah.
like putting on music. But yeah, so I know that this EP, Blue. I remember I also played this one in my show back when I was on radio. This is Skin and Bone. Just tell us a bit about it, and then we'll play it and let our listeners and listen to the song.
Sure. This was inspired by like a comic book that I was reading. And yeah, it's just about like not feeling worthy to be loved, I guess. There's like characters that was just like, so yeah, I just kind of took that idea.
Oh.
Wait. Let me like wait. Are you a comic book person?
I got into like Batman a lot. So this is about do you know like Robin and Batgirl, right? But like I ship them and they just I mean that relationship
Now,
was
now
cute.
you're talking my language.
Oh
But
really?
of course, we're not going to talk about that here because this is all about music. But
That's
maybe
so
off the
funny.
record, like let's talk about Batman.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know it creates inspiration reading comic books. Actually, that's the reason why. Like every time I'm having like like full on work with music, just so that I could go back again and not make it a monotonous thing to do. And I
Yeah.
always read comic books.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, would you look at that?
Oh, so
Hey.
you're a Batman guy? You're not a Marvel guy? Are you a DC guy?
There's a few things that I like there, but I'm just like it's a regular guy with no powers, but is out there, right? So I kind of relate, you
Yeah,
know.
definitely.
Yeah, but
Definitely.
anyways, let's not talk about comic books. Let's so Skin and Bone. This is again from the Blue EP. This was around 2016. So let's check this one out. This one's Valere on Behind This Beat.
You hold me close, but I hold still. You tear the walls I try to build. What's the point when I keep you at a distance? Lover, I'm spent. Lover, I'm broke. Lover, have nothing left to nowhere to go. You deserve better things than skin and bone. You hold my hand, but I
All
hold.
right, that was Skin and Bone, the track under the EP Blue, of course, again, Valere, and this was around 2016. So, yeah, if you want to check it out, it's all on streaming platforms. You can find it everywhere where you listen to your favorite music. All right, so we're still with Valere right now, and such an amazing guest because it's like we know we haven't really talked this way, but we probably know each other the longest.
That's
It's
true,
kind
man.
of it's kind of weird, but at the same time symbiotic.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, and you didn't know, Valer actually is Bisaya, kasabot ng Bisaya, right? Fluent
Makastorya
Yapon,
man.
no?
Makastorya
Oh.
gyapon.
So like you mentioned a while ago of like some artists that like sort of inspires in the Philippines or you're listening to them. Like is there part of the plan of you like maybe like doing collaborations with like even I mean I'd love to see a Sepia Times collab, right?
Oh man, legit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always open to do stuff, I think. Yeah, it's of
Have you
course.
ever have ever thought of like even like approaching anyone like
I probably would approach Luigi. Like I've talked to him actually. We were before the whole COVID thing, I was gonna ask them to do a little live stream kind of concert with me, like for the album release. But then ended up being able to do shows anyway. So I want to be able to work with them. Yeah, I'm still. It's
yeah
funny because I've
I
been
mean
around. Yeah, I'm trying to just learn how to do all this stuff still and like approaching people. And I don't know, like sometimes I don't know if you're the same boy graduate, but just like kind of as an artist, you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if they'll
Yeah,
like me.
I've got an advantage a little bit because I'm a publicist as well. So
Oh,
I kind
red,
of,
that's awesome.
but that did take me a while to learn how to approach and all that, which is really important for an artist. I think it's just like the relationship. People should focus on like the bigger picture and not always try make things happen. So your approach is great. Just chilling, and when the time's right, it will happen.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely like to kind of operate on friendship. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I think for a while I thought it was just like, yeah, networking was quite hard. But then I'm like, oh,
Uh,
if I just make mates, like,
I think the word networking is like intimidating when
yeah,
really it's just like finding new friends.
yeah,
That's
that's right.
literally it. Yeah.
they use that here, man. They say open-minded ka ba? That's when you know that there's networking going.
Oh,
There's
Yeah.
really?
yeah, like it's like a term here. Open-minded ka ba? That means like, and then they're gonna ask you for this like pyramid scheme
Yeah,
network.
like 8 bonus. I don't know, like they're like,
But
thank
anyway,
you.
but yeah, I mean, in the music industry, it's really part of it. Like so you're telling me you've been doing this on your own, like everything. Like you don't have a manager, you don't have a label, you know.
Well, I mean, the closest thing I got to a label was To Do Tango for a while. But yeah, I'm trying to like build a team, and I feel like I've got really good people currently. So just growing slowly is good. Yeah.
Yeah. So how's that like how is it like a like like a Filipina who's in New Zealand or not even just a Filipino, but in general the artist scene there
Mhm.
like for you like how is it does it come with a better result there or does is it better here like or is there like some different pros and cons maybe you could tell us a bit about that.
I guess it depends on what you want. I definitely the music scene here is quite small, obviously because it's a small country. So it's very like grassroots, and there are definitely people here who make like really like what you would call, I guess, global kind of music. We've got artists like Lord who've like come out here, and like Benny and all that stuff. So I think it's just the same, but we do operate a lot on relationships here. So if you muck up one relationship, it just goes around really quickly. But I think I don't know, we're quite relaxed, it seems here. There's a lot of underground, like I guess we still kind of operate on the underground a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
when
I
it comes to like say competition, for example, or like even just like let's say about like independent labels or major labels, there like is there like a well-known independent label, or do you have to be in a situation where you will have to work with some of the radio station outfit to get where you are? Or
I think for us here, there's not much of that. I think everyone in the industry kind of knows everybody, even if you're like an independent person or not. And we have a really good kind of student radio, like a student radio network, and so that's where a lot of people get played, and we have like government bodies that help us out here in terms of music. So we have a thing called New Zealand on Air, who fund artists. There's a lot of money, well, not a lot, but like there is actual like support.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think part of it is just being courageous enough to put your hand up and to like get into, it's not much of a game. It's quite a community feel here. Yeah. I'm not sure what it's like in the Philippines, to be honest. So this is all I
yeah,
know.
there's a lot of like, I mean, it's actually like there is a lot of stability, I guess, here now compared to before. Like I'm like 10, 20 years ago, like it wasn't like that, but even in the south now it's getting better compared to like before. Of course the whole
Yeah.
COVID thing like messed up everything, but I'm saying pre-COVID time it's like it was. And then even now, even if it's the COVID pandemic setup, it's still vibrant per se. Like there's
Nice.
a lot of releases now, because of what's happening. That everyone's can make content now. More because
Yeah.
they're in the house. But yeah, I wanted to touch base on say more of the. Are there like a good Filipino community in New Zealand? Do you guys have that there? Because I know in other states it's like they have strong Filipino community events.
Yeah, I think so. It's funny. I feel like there's always a strong Filipino community everywhere. Like I went to Hong Kong one time, and like the first, like, we found a Filipino straight away. Like it was just kind of like we're everywhere. We're
Yeah.
everywhere. And where we are, we always congregate. So I feel like um yeah, I mean there's Sinulog here and stuff like that. Like we put it on like every year,
Oh,
and
there's a
yeah, so it's
sinner look there. Wow.
yeah, yeah. I mean it's not maybe as
How does
big in
that work? Like,
Hamilton.
how does that
Yeah,
work? Like,
it's just like at a hall. They just do like
Cool, man.
ah,
little thing. Is
okay,
there Sinulog
okay,
there
cool.
in Melbourne? Or like sorry, where you live?
There's
Um
like fiestas during Christmas, but I
oh
don't think they do
cool.
anything for Sinulog. Yeah.
Oh right. Oh cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I it's just like
Same setup though. It's a hole and like a bunch of Filipinos bring food and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
just dancing, there's just hanging out. Yeah, so it's like yeah, but I think I guess there is. I guess there is. But it's definitely not the same as like
Yeah,
going back to Philippines, like it's it's crazy. Yeah.
yeah. So there are strong Filipino communities in areas such as like the U.S. I know it's
Hmm.
strong there. Like Filipino
Yeah.
Americans are quite like a big group.
Yeah.
I don't. I kept asking Boy Graduate here if like they do have that in Australia. I think they do. Um, like
I would assume so.
yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah,
like
I've actually
the reason why we're asking, we're when we started this whole podcast and started to get to know everyone outside, we're seeing sort of like this common like way of actually promoting the music that we have, and it's actually that group, because it's going to be like everyone like here in the Philippines. If you say like, oh yeah, he's like Filipino abroad, it's still like the pride is there because it's Pinoy, you know what I mean? So it's really like one way for us to, we believe in Beat This, that one way for us to like really have a stronger community globally, right? So that's why we keep asking these things, because like hey, you know what if we like start promoting ourselves to the Filipino community outside, right? So, and so far
Yeah.
it's worked for us in some areas. Yeah, that's why like we're probably talk about that to you off air. Like I don't
Oh,
know.
for sure.
Yeah, but yeah. So let's move on to this song. Because I know, well, it's also fitting for what we're talking right now because it's community, so it's like circles, So
Yeah.
like, see what I did there again? Circles, community.
Nice segue. Yeah.
One of those DJ things that you have to do, right? Like,
Absolutely.
anyway, so this track came out around 2018, and what's this track all about? And then it's this like you produce this, yeah.
Yeah, so I produced it. It was kind of the first time I really wrote um newer things, closest to what I was listening to, and
Mhm.
it's about it's kind of like giving myself a pep talk for, like because I keep running around in circles. So I'm telling myself to stop doing that. Um,
So
yeah.
So after Blue EP, you've been doing it. Producing wise have been has been something that you've became sort of your strength now, right? Like because you've been doing it on your own on Blue,
A
right?
little bit. Well, it was like in Blue, I was like, okay, cool. I know where my limits are, or like I know what I'm, good at, what I'm not. And actually, I think I'm better as an arranger. Oh, definitely a producer, but like I worked with a friend of mine, Michael Collier, who actually worked with me on this album, and it was Circles that like made me go, yep, I'm gonna work with this guy because
Yeah.
I was on like Ableton, I put it on, and I was like, I just told him, hey, like, can you just clean it up a little bit? And a lot of the time when you give tracks to other producers, they like go ham on it and they just like
Yeah, they
change
mess it up.
everything.
Yeah.
And then, but Michael was just like sweet, and he just did exactly what I told him, and perfectly, and it was just amazing. And I was like, yeah,
Nice.
sweet, you're the man. Yeah.
Okay, let's check this out. This is Circles, and I remember the first time I heard this, I was so happy
Oh,
because it's been a while. It's been a while, like, and then next thing
yeah.
you know, wow, this song is like,
Every 2 years,
yeah,
man. 2 years is
yeah,
my
the yeah, the listeners would probably love this track. One of probably my sort of like like put more investment on you to actually just follow you with this track. So this is Circles. Of course, you're still listening to Behind This Beat. Yeah, we got Valere in the house.
Look, are you ready? Look, are you ready now? I'm tired of all the waiting and how you stick your head in the clouds. Why aren't you singing? Why aren't you singing out instead of hesitating? What's all this debating? Could I let it go? Stop backing out when your back's against the wall. I know you're ashamed about running round in circles, but let it go. Stop backing out when your back's against the wall. Just run with it and keep running round in circles. Circle, look here, run back.
Yes, that was Circles by Valere. Such an amazing track, and yeah, I always love it when you do that on a song where like it's like at first it's just like this like few elements happening, and then it drops with a and everything's just like that's what I mean when I say like I listen to it and then it
floating.
uplifts it uplifts me from the ground. It's like okay, like it was specifically on the 38 seconds there. Like it's like tuck, 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 and then next thing you know, everything comes
Yeah.
in. You know. So is that your thing? Is that your style? Because I've really noticed it. Like now when I listen to it, it's like yeah, from even that track Company. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe. I don't. It's funny because I don't really put much. Like, I'm not like this is my signature. I just kind of write, and I'm like, oh yes, this feels good to me. That sounds good. But I think so. I guess I do like dynamics, and I like keeping things interesting, even though like I can still be chill about it. But yeah.
Yeah, and before we move on to more questions, I'd just like to say hi to some people. We got some shout outs of Flavomatics of Q York, Runel, Bebe, Braga, Andrea, Go Cotano, Johnny Nguyen, JP Ventura, Zyril Zunio, which is from, he's actually the one of the head of Dreamy Fire Records, who's an EDM label here in the Philippines. And of course, you know this guy,
My dad, yes.
it's Ori.
I do know him.
Hi
Shout out.
guys,
Hi, Dad.
enjoying the podcast. Nice track there. Shout out to your dad.
Oh,
He's
thanks,
cool.
boy graduate dad, Mr. Graduate. I don't
Yeah,
know,
Papa Graduate.
Papa Graduate.
All right. We should have Papa graduate guest one time, man. Just
Yeah,
like
he's for sure gonna. He's itching to come out here, and because I'm living with my dad at the moment and mum, I bet he's itching out here to show his face. So maybe one time.
so moving on, like we've been really talking to you about like the music stuff, right? But like is there like particular like influences that you are into now making this album, or was there any like sort of like what do you call it, kindred spirits that you have, you know?
In terms of music or just anything, I guess. Music.
Well,
So
let's break it to music and producers. There you go.
oh, okay. Well, I guess they're all musicians and producers. So I could answer both. So Sampha, I like love him. He's like, oh my gosh.
Nice.
And Jesse Lanza, Jesse Ware. So I really love at the moment like the UK kind of scene. Neo, Mahalia. I don't know, like there's something about yeah, it's I mean I grew up with a lot of like really intense music, right? Like I had the emo phase, like let's be real, you know
Oh,
what I mean? I
everyone
had
did.
the fringe and
Well,
everything, and
give us an
I
example of
like the
those
Petra, like
emo.
the
Yeah, but give us an example of a band you listen to in the emo
I was
phase.
oh man, I was like probably not as hardcore, but I mean I wanted to be Hayley Williams when I was, like when I was a teenager. Like I dyed my hair orange or something like dumb like that. And like Taking Back Sunday, all that stuff. Fall Out
Mhm.
Boy, all the pop punky kind of things, right? So they're really melodic, but I think I love production that's very simple, and you could hear every kind of element in its place. And so I think Sampha does it really well. Little Dragon, like just quite organic electronic kind of stuff. So yeah, I there's something, yeah, I could just name all these people in like the UK scene slash like Sweden. Robin, I don't know, I love Robin. Anyway,
Have you been to the UK?
no, not at all. I wish. I hope like one day once this COVID thing
Mm.
goes over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years from now.
Yeah. I hope like sooner, but yeah.
Yeah. Boy Graduate and I actually planning to, like hopefully one day, like go somewhere and do this thing, like in the future, like probably be in New Zealand and interviewing you.
Oh, hey, you're
Or
very welcome.
the
Come
goal
through. We
is
have
the
a
goal.
spare room.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
The,
go.
the goal is know everyone and then start doing a tour and then promote Boy
Nice.
Graduate. And then we just like bunk, just like crash in your place, and then Boy Graduate
Sweet.
will have a gig.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
Oh my god.
we also work on a track together as well. That's part
I
of
am
it.
down. Like I said, I'm
Part of
open,
the
Gene.
plan.
Have a gig together. It'd be great. Yeah.
The intentions really for this podcast is for us to really promote Boy Graduate.
That's cool. I'm down for that.
You're there for
I
it.
could be
Thank
the
you so much.
co-host and then
'Cause
boy graduate.
some people don't like it. Some people get offended.
Really?
Nah,
Really?
everyone's been cool. Everyone's been super cool.
No,
They
everyone was
better not.
like cool, like even that like the big star Saweetie, like even she didn't really like. She was like cool
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
I remember that we were like she's like this huge artist in the US right now, and like and I always mention that to the guests, like how we like when she asked for like any artist popping in the Philippines, and we're like, Boy Graduate
Boy
is actually
graduate.
an artist.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's like that, but that's always like we'll never know, right? But anyways, so speaking of collaborations, because we're really in that area now, like I know that
Mm,
this track of yours, like that, which was
yeah.
released in 2020, actually one of another track that I really love from your album. There's like three people here, and like I want you to talk about this particular track.
Sure. So this track was written actually during a songwriting kind of camp that I was pretty like honored to be a part of. So it was called Song Hub Sphere. It was I guess done by APRA AMCOS
Oh, I was
New
gonna say, was
Zealand.
that Abra Amcos? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
That this
It was
year? No. Cool.
nah, it was they've been doing a few, but this one was in 2018 and yeah, they brought along producers from overseas and then like had artists from Australia, New Zealand. And every day we were in a group of four and every day we would write a song and someone would be like the leader of the day or something. And this track was like my day. I was
Mhm.
with Brooke, singer from French Rabbits, Laura she's in the UK, and October, who's also in the UK currently. And yeah, it was one of the most amazing songwriting experiences I've ever been in. I felt
Yeah.
like I was in like songwriting Olympics or something. It was really
Hey,
awesome.
those songwriting camps are lit. Like I applied for the one last year that went to New Zealand. Um,
Oh man, for the was
yeah,
it the hip hop R&B ones? I
yeah.
think
Or
it might
was
have
it?
been.
I applied last year, but it was for this year, and it just went ahead like before the COVID stuff happened.
Man, that's right. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, they were incredible. If you ever get the chance to, yeah.
Mhm. Was a producer called Cam Bluff? Was he on that trip there? Because I know he did a
Um,
few opera.
it was more so that the Song Hub Sphere was for like female artists.
Right.
So yeah, because they have like different kind of themes and stuff. So maybe
Yeah.
not.
No,
Not
probably a
sure.
different one.
Yeah, might have been the other one after.
And the
Right.
song was
So
What
yeah,
was that?
sorry.
Sorry.
yeah, and the song was written on like this camp.
Yeah, yeah. So I think this track in particular um was mixed and mastered as is. I didn't really do anything to it. It's just how it was like on the day. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's check this out, all you guys listening right now. This is Like That, yeah, featuring Laura, October, and Brooke Singer, of course, with Valere. This is still Behind This Beat.
Pink afterglow from a summer rain. Back to back, but you're looking away. I'm thinking about you, oh yeah. Thinking about me too. Green into gold when the summer fades. Heat radiating, now we're in grayscale. I'm thinking about you, oh yeah. Thinking about me too. Do you ever think about me like that? Do you ever think about me like that? Do you ever think about me like that? Like that, yeah. hot
Yeah, that was a awesome, like fire track for me. Like that, of course, Valere, Laura October, and Brooks Singer.
That
Good
just
track,
had
man.
the right amount of cheese on it.
Thank
That
you so
hook
much.
there is great.
That's all I, to be honest, during that songwriting camp, that was the only thing I had. I was like, I have this one chorus. And they're like, sweet. And just like roll around it. I was like, sweet as. That's great.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, it was yeah. That's the thing. Again, I can always like, if it's even how, like when I listen to a lot of music, even how experimental it goes, it's it's a good track when you kind of remember the things
The
that are in
melodies.
there.
Right.
Yeah, so that's actually like very notable with your work, because I can remember it like right away in like probably first listen, and
Thank
it's
you.
it's like once I listen to it, and then I just like after finishing the song, it's like I want to listen to it again, kind of thing, because I want to
Uh,
remember that particular note or melody that you put there. So yeah, I mean, wow, it's already almost an hour done.
Yeah.
That was fast.
Always.
Time flies when you're having
that's
fun.
right. That's right.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's move on because we still have probably one more song, two more songs to play. Uh, let's talk about the album now, because I know
Yeah.
that you've been releasing a couple of singles from 2018. It took about 2 years for you to have consistently release newer singles, and then boom! I was kind of shocked that, oh, she's like releasing songs in 2020, like consistently. Was
Yeah.
this because of the pandemic?
No, I actually had it in
Or
mind to do it. It was funny because I think a lot of the people were like, "Hey, you should maybe like um reconsider when you release stuff because it's of the whole COVID situation when it started happening." And I was like, "Nah, I've sat on this for so long. Like, I need to put it out." And
Just let it out. Yeah.
yeah, and so I definitely planned this whole thing out. I was planning a tour. I wanted to go to Australia. I wanted to go to Philippines actually as well. But I guess COVID hit, and but yeah.
what's what do you think is the highlight for you doing this album? Like in before you release it, or maybe after releasing it, is there like any highlights that you've experienced that you could
I
talk about?
Yeah, I think all of it was really awesome. Like all of it was a highlight because it's like a dream for an artist to put out an album, eh? Like for me anyway. Like EPs are
Yeah.
great, but just like something quite like
Full
substantial
body.
about. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I think just the whole situation with COVID, like um, I remember when it hit just in March, and I was putting out like my first single of the year, I guess, and I was like, do I do it or not? But I ended up, I guess, rallying people around, and people were still really supportive over the time, and kind of, you know, when I would have thought that people wouldn't be listening to music, like they listen more, and had like I think the first single release kind of thing that I did online, like an IG live thing. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, and I've been able to get other artists on board, like spoken word artists and other people. So that's
That's
been a highlight for
awesome.
me.
Yeah. That's
It's
nice.
been
Yeah.
it just it just rained really poured hard here, but like I hope it's not, you can't hear it. But
Not really.
anyways,
Ambiance, no worries.
so the thing is, okay, so let's talk about the connections you have with you just mentioned about your Instagram live and thing, like how is it like with your, is there like a stable of fan base you have now that you like, they know they've been connecting with you a lot, and is there something that's surprisingly you didn't even like, I'm sure it surprises you that I've been here listening to you way back, but is there like other things that you've noticed that was like, oh, like I never had this before?
Yeah, I think I don't know. They're mostly like my friends. And you know, sometimes when your mates and you're just like they kind of just show up because they're your friends, but they stuck around. So I was like, oh, I guess they're sticking around for more than my friendship, I guess, or whatever. Like, but
Mhm.
also recently when I did the couple gigs from last couple weeks, and people have like been playing the songs. So like they've been sending me things of them playing the songs, or some other people from like I don't know where they like dance to the songs and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah,
it's
it's people
still
actually listen.
yeah, it's like so much that it's just crazy. I think it'll always surprise me because I don't know. I don't really yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird being an artist and releasing something because you really don't think anyone's going to listen to it. So when people do that and they send you like just out of the blue, you're like, oh wow, someone's actually like listening to it and enjoying it. That's
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
something that I didn't know like I would have ever gotten like because a lot of the time when I'm gigging, it's like I'm the new guy, like no one knows who I am, whatever, you
mhm,
know. But like
mhm.
the last few times that I've played for the release, people have actually like learned the words and they've been like
Yeah.
singing along, and I'm like, whoa, like this is crazy. Oh
I
my
go
gosh.
feeling.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Kind of surprises me that you feel that way, because when I listen to your stuff, it's like it's obviously listening to it from an A&R standpoint. I think it's just if people hear more about you, even here in the Philippines or even globally, I think they should like at least put more. They should put time and investment on like listening to you, because like you have. Yeah, I was talking to the national A&R of Warner, and I was like letting him hear your stuff, and he was like, "Wow, this good stuff, huh? Like how'd you find this?" Well, yeah, that's what I do.
From back in the day.
I'm the Bruce Wayne of the Philippines, the people's champ.
The people's oh man, bro. You man.
Yeah, I was like, but yeah, I'm really like, yeah, that's why that's the biggest reason why we always do this podcast as well, even that it's being streamed on my personal account, because I have a lot of friends in the music industry, and I
Mm.
feel that things, like music, like this should be heard, like deserve to be heard more, so with that said, like, have you ever explored? Have you ever had situations where you have listeners that is not coming from New Zealand or the Philippines, that was like, whoa, like I have people from Zimbabwe or something like that, like,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's definitely been a few like really random ones. And I guess you could see as well like on your Spotify like
Mm.
I have people listening in like Denmark. Like how did that happen? Like I don't know, but yeah, it's still crazy. Sometimes in Australia like I just random people that reach out. But even locally, like I had a girl come up to me after the show last week and she said, "Yeah, I found you." Like I was like, "I don't know how you found me."
Yo, and she came because she found you. Like she
Yeah,
liked
well
you. Like,
yeah, and she's like, "Hey, like I don't know what it was, but
it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it's awesome." I don't ever want to take that for granted because I'm just like, "Wow, like yeah, it's awesome."
Yeah, I think it's again that throw out effect where you're like, oh wow, really? You took your night out to come see me?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So it's
yeah.
just special. It's really special. Mm.
Mm.
Cool, cool. All right, so let's play another track for you, because then we're gonna sort of have this segment we do where we look at your Instagram a bit and then end the show. This is again a track called "Make Believe." And yeah, tell us a bit about this. This is part of the Colors album, which just released October 1. So yeah, all you guys, make sure to check this out. So tell us about Make Believe.
Make believe is about man, it's about a book as well. See, I didn't really have a lot of life experience. I just like read a lot, and I was like, this is sad. But so I really wanted these two characters to get together in the book, and they didn't get together in the book, and I was really mad. And so I wrote a breakup song, but to the author. Um,
Oh.
so it sounds like I'm mad about somebody, but I'm mad at the author.
That's dope.
Thank you.
Wow, a really cool story, man. I was like, okay, okay. So guys, again, let's check this out. This is Make Believe, still part of the album Colors. It was released earlier. Yeah. and then but it's part of the album. So let's check this out, everyone out there who's listening to this podcast. Behind this beat, with Valere, Make Believe.
Love, can you tell the truth? Were you just dangling lies to lure my feelings? Love, why'd you make a move when you just cut me loose for no good reason? Love, what was the use of all the lies you spun, the words you were weaving? Maybe I'm a fool for love, but when the going's tough, I keep holding on to you. Was it all make believe? Why'd you go and break my heart? Took your love away from me when I could taste it on the tip of my tongue. My beloved, I believe. So why'd you go and tear me apart? Took your love away from me when I could taste it on the tip of my.
Yes, that's Make Believe by Valere, of course, from the album Colors. Yeah, that drop again. That whole, it starts out with like just a few things and then like everything comes in. And I was like, oh my God, I'm floating again. you know?
That's awesome.
The next music video you do should just be Alex floating on a green screen.
That's gonna be fun, man.
I didn't say it. You, yeah.
I would do it. I would do it. I just because I'm a fan, I would do it.
Shot, man. I've got it all now here recorded.
Yeah. I can even do a TikTok dance for that.
If you start it, Alex, honestly, it'll blow up. I bet you.
Or it will. No one will want to listen to you once that happens. It's either gonna blow up, or no one wants to be associated with you because I'm there. Anyways, but yeah, so let's move on. It's been fun actually talking to you, but let's move on to our segment here that we actually look at your Instagram, so that we what we do is we still haven't have a title for this segment, but we just do this every time. It's just so there's an interesting things that we talk to you about. But yeah, so I don't know, all listeners out there, if you can come
behind this pic, we should call it.
I like that. Behind this pic.
I literally just thought of that this end.
Hey, cough,
You're
man.
genius. Boy genius.
Boy genius. Oh my God. Yeah. Papa graduate. Yeah. Dami mo na yan. You have a lot today, ha? No, ha? Sige. We'll do this. Where's that? See, I'm lost. Let me add the screen. So yeah, so this is the Instagram of Valere. Let's check this out. Okay, can you see it? Yeah. So anyways, the first thing that I wanna talk about is this one. This is a post that was done October 2. So maybe tell us what is this?
So that's my fiance holding a bracelet that we made. Oh, I made. So I was thinking about merch ideas, and I'm a big earrings person. Like I love funky earrings and stuff. And the the single art have always been with earrings. And so I was like, why if I just make jewelry? And part of it was making a bracelet as well of different colors. And the symbol of the album is like a 5-leaf or 5 kind of petaled flower. So I found some of those in like some bead shop. And so I've been making these little cute bracelets.
That's cool. It is cute.
Nice. I mean, is it like, yeah, it's like, you know what? Like, I don't know if you know this, but this is very this is huge in the Philippines, like beads type of, I mean, everyone, like, you can see this everywhere here. Like,
really?
Not this design, but the idea of having beads type of it's a big
man. You need to tell people to buy. I need to
Ship
make
it.
that Maria. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just
ship.
That's it.
I think you need to ship it to me, and probably I can sell it here.
shot. You get commission. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Anyway, so let's move on to the next photo. Uh, Actually, maybe I'm just gonna talk about
Pick
this,
one.
but I've noticed all of these things. Like you have, this was so brilliant. Like
Thank
you know what
you.
he did, what she did here, boy graduate. Like with this whole, if you notice, there's like almost different type of sepia colors, but then it's actually per track, right? You're singing a certain
Part of the
line.
song. Yes.
Yeah, so let's open this one. For example, this one. This is undercover, and then you're like singing on it, right?
Hmm.
Cutting the ties,
Yeah.
don't wanna sing the same songs. With woven eyes, I've been strung along. Now I'm cutting the ties, don't wanna.
So everything like that, and then you put like a cover of, or like a description, or like some sort of like a imaging brand imaging, right? So this was
Yeah.
so brilliant to me when I saw this. I was like, man, I wish I could have thought of that for my artist. you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, I have been working with so the guy who was holding the bracelet, Hayden. He and I were working on this thing. We were talking about the album, and it's called Colors. And I was like, I think every song has a certain color, and so we talked about what you know what color each song was,
Mhm.
and we had the idea of when you go to like a hardware store and you're trying to find a paint color, and you've got like the paint.
Yeah, the palette.
So yeah, the paint palettes, and so we were trying to make our own kind of paint palettes. So this was the undercover paint palette. The number at the bottom of the title is like the actual color from, like, if you go on Photoshop, you can like
Oh, you can look it up.
you can look it up, and yeah,
Wow, that's even
yeah,
brilliant. Can I just
yeah.
can I copy this for my next artist? I'm just
Hey
kidding.
man,
Just kidding.
if you say that Valere was if I get
Yeah.
commission to like
Creative
do
Actually,
it,
director.
so
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Actually, for the next project for Boy Graduate, I'll do this.
Sweet.
Yes,
Sure.
please. Look it up.
Anyways, so that's amazing. I like it's the first time when I was looking at it, I was like, so like, oh my god, this is such a really good marketing like a marketing a promotional angle that was amazing. I mean, it's just me being the guy who is behind the scenes, and I was like, wow, this is good. So you just came up with this stuff, right? That was
Oh
your
yeah,
idea.
both of us. Well, both of it. Yeah, both of us were talking about it. And so yeah, it was earlier on in like the album process as well. We went to a hardware store actually and just looked at like different colors
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it would be.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it
yeah.
was fun.
Okay. All right. So our last photo would be this one. Um, this is like I think 4 days ago, and I think you are. The photo is actually shows that you are performing. So
Mm.
yeah, tell us about this one.
This was a really special night. So yeah, so I released the album. I didn't know that I was going to be able to do shows because of COVID, and then everything sort of lifted. And my friend who took this photo, she was the one who actually said to me, "Hey, like, are you doing anything for the release?" And I was a little bit scared, but she said, "Yeah, no, like Auckland's level 2, like we can have gigs." And she really encouraged me, and so I put on 2 shows to release the album. Like, I missed playing live, and this was my first ever sold out gig in Auckland.
Oh,
Um,
congratulations!
thank you, thank
Congratulations!
you. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was awesome. It was a really great night, and yeah, it was really special. So many people turned up, and it was just, yeah, really magical.
Did you
So
did you do some electronic stuff on here? Because I if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw on a YouTube content of yours where you were doing some beat making machine, and then you were singing on it.
yeah, I'm still learning how to do it. So not this at this point. We just did an acoustic kind of thing just because it was super short notice. Um, but yeah, that's one of the things I'm really hoping to learn to do and to perform with is I've got a sampler here somewhere and I'm still learning how to use it. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. So thank you again for that. Like description on the Instagram thing behind
Behind the
this.
stick.
You can actually, if you want to know what we're talking about, of course, for the ones who just listening to this on the podcast, just go to Instagram.com/Valere Music. That's Valere music, and you know what we're talking about, so that you could relate once you're listening to the podcast on on the streaming versions of it, or the podcast versions of this episode. All right, so okay, man, like it's been amazing hanging out with you, Valere. Like, is there anything that you wanna like talk about for like the future of your career before we do a recap?
Just thank you for listening, and hopefully you'll be able to visit everybody and actually play. Yeah, so I mean, I'm taking a little bit of a break because I'm actually getting married in like a month, which is
Hey,
great.
congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
So
congratulations! Okay.
thank you. Yeah, so we having a little bit of a break, but then after that, hopefully we'll keep going and yeah,
Get it done.
yep,
Well,
that's right.
it's nice to have someone sort of close to me. We've been interviewing American artists for the last month or so, so yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice to
man.
hear a familiar accent.
It's good cousin. We're
Yeah,
cousins,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
For life. Yeah.
Cool, cool. So we're gonna be playing. So when we do our recap, our last song will be "Ordinary," which is your focus single for the album Colors. Maybe talk a bit about that, and then we'll do our recap, and then just talk a bit about that, and we'll just invite also the listeners to go to all your socials.
Sure. So this was co-produced by a friend of mine, Isaac Graham, and this one's about just finding a love that is ordinary but isn't actually that ordinary because it's the lyrics are very. This is the cheese. This is the
This is the
cheese.
cheese steak.
Mm.
You've arrived to the main
We have
course.
arrived to the. Mm.
The cheese. I love it. Like, love it. We have to put that on the article, man.
Yeah,
Thank you very
for
much.
sure.
Sweet.
You know. But yeah, I mean, it's really great hanging with you, Valer, and giving your time to actually just be part of the podcast. And this is amazing because you are our 10th episode already,
Well, thank
and we're always here to really like go further of what we know or what we hear or know here in the Philippines. Really do like this Filipino global or the Filipino future music, right? So thank you for having for making time for being
Yeah.
here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all that you guys do. It's really awesome to hear. Like, yeah, it's especially for somebody who's far away from their home. To be able to listen to like fellow Filipinos who are doing like amazing music, like Boy
Mhm.
Graduate. Everyone
Yeah.
listen to him.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? See, I'll be a
She gets
PR
it.
person, man.
Let's have her again on the podcast soon.
She gets a plus points for that, so she'll have another session with us.
Yeah.
Next week. Next week.
Yeah.
Right away, Yeah. So, anyways, thanks again, Valer. We're gonna just like do a recap. Please invite again the listeners, your socials, everything, so that they know how to get in touch with you.
So yeah, look for me on Instagram and Facebook, Valere Music, so Valere Music, and you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere really. Yeah, and on Behind the Beat now, which is great.
Yes, sir. The most
Yes,
important
there
one.
you go. And and then of course I just want to say like you like all the listeners out there, you guys gotta listen to the album Colors. I'm telling you, you have to listen to it not the way we're listening right now where it's singles. Listen to it from the start. I'm telling you, from that track Broken as an introduction, then Company, you're gonna like float.
Thank you.
you know, you know? Yeah. So
Thank
you're
you.
gonna no, let's make it really a cooler term. You're gonna levitate. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Levitate or your
Yeah.
money back, guaranteed.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, thank you again. Thank you again, Valere. And we'll just have to do a recap first and just hang out at the back, and then we'll talk to you after the show. All right. So goodbye and thank you.
Paalam.
Alam. All right, it was that was fun, man. It's we got to learn more about Valere. It's so surprising for me that it took like since 2014. Imagine that, and I just got to really know more about her.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that it comes to a point where now there's a better platform of not just me knowing the artist, but most of the listeners or the subscribers that we have, the million subscribers that we have.
Hey, that might not be far fetched. I don't know if we're talking about it on this episode or will we wait to share the news?
Oh no,
Maybe.
no, we're gonna share the news. I'm like, thanks for reminding me. I kind of forgot a bit. I was just gonna do a recap already, but yeah. Here's the thing, for the past episodes, we've been doing this on our own, through the Beat This, webs, Facebook, socials, and all, and then of course here on my personal account. But we have a big news right now. Uh, Actually, this is actually like something that we never thought would happen. But then, things like this is just we are just so amazed that there's other people who actually other outfit who believe in the show concept, right? So we just have to say that we're on starting November. We're going to be partnering up with Mix Philippines to actually deliver this podcast on their streaming socials. So you're not only going to see this on our channel, but you're going to see this on the Mix Philippines channel on socials. So that's going to be amazing, man, because Mix Philippines is there's 7 million followers.
Yeah, you're literally talking millions. Yeah, so
Yeah.
looking
So
forward to that. So you guys can be the first when we really do blow up. You can coin yourself as the first to beat this followers.
yeah, man, we need to have
click.
we need to take care of makeup and all that because
Yeah, man.
we gotta look good for this stuff, right?
I've already posted a job article here, so makeup artist every Friday.
Yeah, yeah. Me, yeah. We're not like really. We're not like your great example of a VJ DJ kind of guys. But I mean, we're trying. We're getting there. But thank you again for always tuning into this podcast. And I've been seeing a lot of good numbers on our podcast analytics, and it amazes me that it's getting a good heap of amount of subscribers. So keep that going. Just go to @BeatThisPH on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, @BeatThisPH, and then make sure to go to www.beatthisph.com for more information on what we do. And you can follow actually both of us on our personal Instagram. Just go to @PhatBoyLim, that's PhatBoyLim. And how about you, Boy Graduate?
Yeah, just @Boy Graduate.
Yeah. All right. So
BOY Graduate. Yeah.
yeah. And then of course make sure to follow our playlist on Spotify. We have a weekly playlist called The Chosen Dozen. And then another one which is called Fresh Fridays, where we highlight all new stuff. So you got to watch out for that. There's more Filipino music content there. It's not going to be just like from the Philippines, but it's worldwide. Yeah. So again, thank you for hanging out with us. Our next guest for next week, next Friday, will be Young JV from the Philippines. And man, Young JV is actually known in the industry. He's also one of our probably one of our biggest guests also here. So he's got we gotta look good on that day, man. If we can make
look good every day.
We always look good every day. Right? What are you talking about? But yeah, so that's Young JV. And in the future, we got a lot of guests. We're gonna put it on our our socials, all the guests. But watch out for these guests. We got Syra Gwyneth from Belgium. We got Lara Andalo from Australia, your hometown, man.
Yeah.
We also got we're talking to Swizzy Max from Germany. We're also talking to Janelle Maurice from the Bay Area. Angel from Las Vegas. There's just a lot. And then, of course, a lot of Filipino talents from here as well. So make sure to always follow us on Behind This Beat or Beat This Philippines in general. And yeah, let's make the Filipino music future look good, with all the quality that's coming out, right? So yeah, this has been Phat Boy Lim.
And Boy Graduate.
And I'll leave you with a track called Ordinary. We'll leave you with a track. This is again from the album Colors by Valere. Thank you very much. And we out.
I've been thinking how you made my heart to the bed with all the times I've turned away. There's a sinking. I'm so unworthy of your grace when all I made are big mistakes. It's overwhelming. No fall, no failure, no fortune, no fame could ever change how you feel. It doesn't matter, it's unfair, unfeigned, unearned,